Okay, today we're going to do a fertile crescent map. So everybody should have a map like this in front of them. Make sure you have it right side up so that the little scale of miles or scale of kilometers is down here in the bottom left hand corner. We're going to call this map the fertile crescent. So at the top of your map, write fertile, F-E-R-T-I-L-E, crescent, C-R-E-S-C-E-N-T. And this map comes from page 55 in the textbook. So take a minute and open up your textbooks to page 55 and look at the map there. That's this one right here. So give everybody a second to open up their maps or open up their books to page 55. Okay, the first thing we want to do is fill in the bodies of water so that you don't accidentally color them brown. So if I look at my book map, this body of water here is the Persian Gulf. It's the same as this body of water right here. So inside of this shape, I want you to write nice and neat in your best handwriting, Persian Gulf. Okay, now I'm going to turn my map sideways just a little and put Persian Gulf. Alright, and when we color these, not now, but when we color these, that's going to be blue. Now go straight up from the Persian Gulf to this body of water and compare it to your textbook, and you should see that that's the Caspian Sea. C-A-S-P-I-A-N-S-E-A. Label that the Caspian Sea. Now go straight across all the way to the far left. This is water out here. This is the Mediterranean Sea. And I'm going to take this and spell this right off of the book map. M-E-D-I-T-E-R-R-A-N-E-A-N-C. And I copied that right from the book map. And then if we go down to the Mediterranean Sea here, from the Mediterranean Sea south, we get to this body of water with these two horns on it, and this is the Red Sea. So I'm going to turn my paper sideways and write Red Sea along there. Now when you color this, all the seas are colored blue. Now there's one more thing that are colored blue on a map, and that's the rivers. Now the two rivers that we're most concerned with are right here. These two lines are rivers. One of these is the Tigris and one is the Euphrates. Now I'm going to trace these in pencil first, and that's what I want you to do, is to just trace them in pencil and make them nice and dark, and we will outline them in blue later. So I'm just going to take my pencil and trace this river down and make it nice and dark. It's okay if I get off just a little bit, and then stop there, and then give that river in there, and then I'm going to trace the other river down from the top. Like that. And those are blue. Now let's label them. Give you a minute to finish those two dark lines. Then in your neatest, tightest handwriting, we're going to label the bottom one Euphrates River, E-U-P-H-R-A-T-E-S-R period. Just like that. And then the one above it is the Tigris. T-I-G-R-I-S-R period. That was easy enough. Now we are going to label some of the land. Oh, sorry, we have another river to trace. Let's trace this river over here. Does anybody know this river? It's not labeled in the book. Yes, it is. It's the Nile River. So we're going to trace this one down here. So everybody tracing the Nile River. And then label that Nile R. Now if you notice too in the book, there is a line connecting this tip of the Red Sea up to the Mediterranean Sea. And that is true. There is a river there, a river and a combination of a river and a canal. We're just going to connect that. And you can draw that blue too if you want to. Okay, now the landforms. Let's start at the top. This is Asia Minor up here. Asia Minor, A-S-I-A-M-I-N-O-R. Right here we have the Taurus Mountains, and let's write the word Taurus in there first. T-A-U-R-U-S, mountains. Mountains, M-T-N-S. Now after we put the Taurus Mountains in there and we label them like that, let's just put some mountain figures here. And we'll just do that like this. See that? Aren't those cute? Nice little mountains. We'll put a couple of mountains underneath. Like so. There. Taurus Mountains. Now we're going to come down here and do the same thing right along here for the Zagros Mountains. See them in your book? Zagros Mountains. Z-A-G-R-O-S M-T-N-S. And we'll put mountains there. Nice and neat. So there we go. We've got Asia Minor, Taurus Mountains, Zagros Mountains. Now over here, this region right here is called the Syrian Desert. S-Y-R-I-A-N-D-E-S-E-R-T. This little peninsula here, this is a peninsula. Peninsula is an area of land surrounded on three sides by water. 1, 2, 3. Peninsula. This is called the Sinai Peninsula. S-I-N-A-I. And we'll abbreviate P-E-N-I-N. Just abbreviate that. And then this big piece of land is called the Arabian Peninsula. Now remember, peninsula surrounded on three sides by water. You just can't see that way out here is water as well. You can't see that, but that's a peninsula. A-R-A-B-I-A-N, Arabian. And let's spell out peninsula this time. P-E-N-I-N S-U-L-A, Sinai Peninsula. Now, this region right here is where the Fertile Crescent is. Now, this is going to be the hard part, so pay close attention. All right? we're going to draw the Fertile Crescent. Take a look at your book really closely. See how the green is in there? Take a good hard look at where the green is. We're going to draw a border for that green right there on our map. Okay, so I'm looking at my book and I'm going to start right about here, and I'm going to lightly draw my border up here and around and include my Euphrates River nice and tight and down to here. And then I'm going to start up here. Everybody got that? Give you one more chance to finish that in, just like that. Then I'm going to start up here. I'm going to put your pencil right on that little, where the water comes in, right underneath there. And we're going to go, oh boy, we need to go up here and get the Tigris River and come down over the Tigris River, under the Zagros Mountains, and right about to there. Now that region is going to be green, and this region here that we just drew is called the Fertile Crescent. So right here, in your best, tightest, and straight back and forth handwriting, Fertile, C-R-E-S-C-E-N-T, Fertile Crescent. Now, the next thing we want to do is trace our rivers in blue. So I'm going to take a blue crayon. You can use a crayon or a fine tip marker, or a colored pencil. And I'm going to trace my rivers in blue like this. See that? I can still see the pencil underneath there, but that's no big deal. I want to get those rivers in blue first before I do anything else. There. That doesn't look so bad. It's not the best crayon in the world, but it'll do. Now, the first thing I want you to color is get that Fertile Crescent colored green. Just like this. Nice and light. I'm not going to color right on top of my letters. Well, maybe I will. Nice and light, colored all the way down to there. Get in between the two rivers. Don't smear the blue crayon. There. That's green, so that's your Fertile Crescent. Now, for blue, or for the land, no, let's do the blue first. Let's do the blue water. Can you see the difference between that blue and that green? So I'm coloring the Persian Gulf blue. Now look, you don't have to color every tiny inch and speck of every shape. We just don't have time for that. Okay? Caspian Sea has to be colored blue. Now look, don't color this up here blue. The blue is in the seas. The seas are blue. Okay? So the Mediterranean Sea has to be colored blue. You don't have to color, don't worry about those little islands up there. Now don't color this island blue. Leave that island white. You can get some blue up here if you want. Okay, but we're not too concerned about that. What's the focus of the map? The Fertile Crescent is the focus of the map. Okay, I'm going to trace my Nile River here, nice and dark, like so. Color my Red Sea. Like so. There. Oh, look here. There's a little body of water right here. Just above here. Color that blue. Now, once you finish that, double and triple check it. Double and triple check it. You got only C's are blue. Everything else is still white. Everything else is still white. Alright, now we're ready to color the rest of it brown. So take your colored pencil and just shade the rest brown. If you want, you can highlight your mountains like this. Okay? But then just barely touch the paper when you're shading. Just barely. And I always leave the area around my words in a white bubble. Now the Syrian desert region. And then finally, Egypt. Oh, I missed this part up by the Caspian Sea. Remember, I'm barely touching the paper. There we go. Fertile Crescent. Fertile Crescent. Okay, and that's it.